South Sudan are an interesting team to watch. I've been following them since they started their FIBA World Cup qualifiers campaign. And right now they're in the FIBA World Cup and they just play their warm up games. But before you even get into that, man, I mean, there's a lot to unpack. I've made a lot of videos just talking about South Sudan's phenomenal run. I even made a series just documenting their games from the first game they started in the qualifiers way back in last year, and from until the time that they're just playing in the warm-up games. And just to unpack, of the 20 players that featured in the South Sudan team in the African qualifiers, Nuni Omot averaged a team high of 26.4 minutes per game for players that appeared in all 12 of their games. So Nuni Omot has been sensational for the South Sudanese national team. And also, not to mention, he was in the Al Ahly team that won the championship, the BAL championship, and he won the finals MVP. And he has been dropping career numbers since then. So Omot was a consistent player, and he was a constant headache that the other team's defense not used to. And even he recorded a team high 15.1 points per game. So Nuni Omot played a crucial role in South Sudan's first ever World Cup qualification. I mean, South Sudan, they turned on like the Jets, they turned on like all the energy, and this is just their year. They've just looked so solid all through, and they've never missed a step, especially with their performance in the Afrobasket. And since then, they've just been winning. They racked up, out of the 12 games, they went 11-1, and right now they just headed to the Philippines. And aside from a 3-point loss to Senegal, South Sudan won the rest of the African qualifier games to complete a historic run to the World Cup. Their fans have been jubilant through the entire qualification run. The qualifiers it was just sensational, especially when they were able to confirm their World Cup spot on 24th February in Egypt. I remember even that time I dropped a video just to talk about their historic run, and it was just awesome to see. So when South Sudan players were just playing their first World Cup game at the Araneta Coliseum in the Philippines against Puerto Rico on 26 August, there's a good chance there will be a wild crowd and also traveling fans. You're seeing South Sudanese fans really like supporting their team, and they also travel. So the crowd is going to be wild because you're going to a neutral environment. Every team, they don't have like a lot of home court advantage, but you can see South Sudanese fans fly in there and just watch those games. So in the FIBA World Cup warm-up games, South Sudan were matched up against Brazil, Venezuela, and Iran, and they are set to play Jordan. So South Sudan won the game against Venezuela and Iran, but lost to Brazil. So the Brazil game, they lost by 10 points, 85-75, resulting in a loss. It was a 10-point loss, but when South Sudan matched up against Venezuela, this game ended 80-61 in a win, and South Sudan matching up against Iran, it was a 6-point game decided, and 77-71 was the final score, and South Sudan came up with the win. Right now, as by recording this video, they have a 2-1 record, and they're set to play Jordan. So I'm just really waiting to see that. And Nuni Omot has had also some things to say, man. He was even quoted as saying, we can keep shocking the world. And true. I mean, he said that, and I've just believed everything he said, because even from the first post-game presser that I saw in the FIBA World Cup qualifiers, they just had that momentum going, and they just had that belief in what they're doing, and they just had a lot of belief, especially in their skill set. So when it came to like going in there and just playing, it was just all systems go at that point. And I started believing them, especially when they beat like powerhouse Tunisia, the reigning and defending Afrobasket champions, beating them twice, beating Egypt, avenging their loss against Senegal. So that was actually a pretty good clue. And also like looking at how they're playing even with teams that are outside the African continent, you can see more competed heavy against Venezuela, also against Brazil. Not the type of competition or even the teams they're used to, because the majority of the time they played the African teams. But as you can see, the development of these players have just been excellent. And also, not to mention, like, they have a very good coaching staff in Lowell Deng at the helm. And also, Roll Ivy has just been sensational. Nooni Ormot just dominating from Bal to the South Sudanese national team, just holding their flag high. So, South Sudan have already taken African basketball by a storm over the past 3 years. I mean, since they never missed a beat, especially from the AfroBasket run. I just saw a team just deciding that this is just their year, and they just came in and just shocked everyone. They shocked Tunisia, shocked Egypt. You might think that a team like Tunisia are going to be there in the FIBA World Cup, but they just didn't make it. And also USM, not to mention, they got knocked out in the BAL playoffs. They didn't even make the BAL playoffs. So yeah, you can see there is some regression on that side. But you can see Egypt also made it to the FIBA World Cup. So also Angola, Cote d'Ivoire, and Cape Verde. I mean, those teams, yeah, man, they just pull it off. Now they look to continue to make history at the 2023 FIBA Basketball World Cup. I mean, South Sudanese players, the teams, the fans are just in cloud nine at this point. I mean, they're just absolute royalty at this point, especially when it comes to African basketball. From reaching the 2021 FIBA AfroBasket quarterfinals to finish with the best record, 11-1 in the FIBA World Cup African qualifiers. This just goes to show you that this is a team that had a goal and objective, had the right pieces, and also they're just adding on to reinforcement. You can see when Gabriel plays for the LA Lakers, he's brought in. You've got Kwani, another dude that has just been, dropping those insane numbers. He's also joined in the fray. And honestly, if you ask me, this is a team that can go all the way. And they've been grouped as like a Cinderella story, just the same way as the Miami Heat when they were in the playing tournament and they went until to make the finals. So I even predicted that they're going to have like a podium finish. So I'm just excited. I'm just waiting to see what they're going to do because they have just been sensational. They will take on Puerto Rico, China, and Serbia in Group B in the Philippines capital of Manila to mark their World Cup debut, and they've just gone ahead of other teams that we would have expected to see there. I was expecting to see Senegal make the FIBA World Cup. I was expecting a team like Tunisia to make it there, but you can see South Sudan just knew what to do, and they just knew like how to put themselves in such situations and like, getting the right personnel to do it, having like a quality coach like Coach Royal Ivy. He's also he coaches his assistant coach for the Brooklyn Nets. I mean, so you can see the quality and even the quality of the players. Their management is just top notch, and it just manifests itself on the court. And you can see they're able to compete heavy. As much as you can see they lost to Brazil, it was a 10-point game. And looking at the way that they played, you're just seeing a team that it doesn't back off. It's a team that isn't shy to face adversity. It's a team that has the ability to take on any challenge as they come. Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming maybe they can even play against Team USA. Who knows how they're going to compete there, because I'm just confident in seeing like this team just come in and just take it all away. So reacting to the World Cup draw, Nooni Ormot, South Sudan's leading performer during the African qualifiers, acknowledged the uphill task ahead of them. But he remained defiant. We just got to come out and continue to shock the world the way we have been doing. I feel like if we just lock in our coaches put us together, I feel like we can keep shocking the world. So you can see Nooni Ormot's very confident in there, and he rightfully so, because this is the reigning BAL Finals MVP. So this is a guy that been there, done that. He's played international basketball, so he knows what to do, especially when it comes to those situations. Only one team heads to this year's FIBA World Cup ranked below South Sudan, Cape Verde, but their number 62 team in the FIBA World Cup ranking presented by Nike. So you can see South Sudan at ranked number 62, but it doesn't matter like how they're ranked. They just go in and just play the way they feel like, and the way they just put in so much grit to make sure that they're able to win every game. So those rankings don't mean anything, especially to a South Sudanese team. So talking to FIBA Basketball in Cairo when he featured for Al Ahly in the 2023, this is Nuni Omot, 2023 Bar 9 conference. Omot expressed excitement to face some strong teams in the group. It's going to be a good challenge for us, he said. We can't take any of these teams lightly. So you can see he's also humble there. He continues, Serbia have a lot of NBA players. Thank God Nikola Jokic is not playing, because this guy will have just destroyed them. A lot of high-level European players. China, they got some talented guys. Puerto Rico, and know some of the guys on the team. I played in Puerto Rico last summer. They have good guards. So you can see this Nuni Omot is a guy who is experienced. He knows like how to adjust in those games, and he knows even the players, because you can see he played in Puerto Rico last summer, so he knows how to set up, especially defensively and offensively, to adjust his game. So Nuni Omot was quoted in saying, "We are always the underdogs. We have been underdogs since day one. This means everything to each and every one of us." So Omot observed when asked the importance of qualifying for the 32nd Nations World Cup. So this means a lot, because I'm able to really step on a stage that I have never stepped on before. So Nuni Omot, he also continued, and he also added, there's going to be a lot of good players, good teams, but to be able to showcase with my brothers, to show the talent that there is in Africa and South Sudan, it means the world. Just to be able to be in this stage is a dream come true. So he also said, we are not done yet, and we still have a lot of things that we want to accomplish. None of this is going to be possible without our fans. So the South Sudanese fans, the fraternity, have just been supporting the South Sudanese basketball team, and rightfully so, because this is just huge, especially a huge milestone in the basketball history, which is going to be immortalized in South Sudanese basketball. So I mean, I feel like they are the ones who lifted us up. So this is what he said about the fans. Their unconditional support has been unbelievable, second to none. I have never seen anything like it. So asked to describe the type of team South Sudan is Nuni Omot, he said this: people probably aren't still too fond of us because it's our first year going into the World Cup, but they don't understand the type of talent that we have, the type of players that we have, the mindset, how hungry guys are, the type of work people put on the off season during the season. So South Sudan are a team, they're a country, and they're a nation that is headed into like the biggest stage in the world, and they're just going to match up against all these teams from around every corner of the world. So their matchup and their games, they've just been taking steps the right direction to make sure to get to that point. So I'm just excited. I'll just be following up South Sudanese basketball, and I'll just keep you guys updated, because man, this is just going to be so exciting. I'll make sure to plug you in to the details, especially the African teams. You have South Sudan, Cote d'Ivoire, Cape Verde, Angola, and Egypt. I'll also be just coming in and just dropping my gems, just talking about these teams, but South Sudan in particular. This is a team in East Africa, and they have what it takes to like go all the way, and you not even go all the way and finish, but at least a podium finish will mark like a very good Cinderella story to be able to like notch onto the country's history. So I'll just be following up to that. But if you guys like the video, make sure to leave your feedback down in the comments, because I'm so excited to see this. And also I'll just be reacting to like the games that they also play. I'm pretty sure they're going to play against Jordan. As per recording of this video, they have not played against Jordan yet. They're just coming off playing against Iran, where they won. And man, it's just been awesome. So I'm out. Peace.